All right. I like this little stretch of trail. It's kind of nice. It's got a few little technical sections, but nothing you can't do in a stock Jeep. I mean, you can do whatever you want out here, at least on this access trail. I don't really have time today to go up to the actual Shoemaker Trail itself, which is in the Tonto National Forest, but I don't care. I come out here a bunch of times. I really like the area, the little ecosystem. I've seen a bunch of different wildlife out here. So I tend to enjoy all of that. Not just the four-wheeling, but obviously I love the four-wheeling. And I think I'm gonna stop at some point and go over something I don't think anybody knows about Jeeps and Chrysler products and stuff like that. So, hey, we're pulled over on a trail. Let's talk about some stuff. I want to talk about one thing that's the very first thing that I ever did as soon as I got my Jeep home from the dealership. So this Jeep right here is 2024 two-door Jeep Rubicon, and I think this is true for all Chrysler products, but not 100% sure on that, but it's true for this one. And in just a second, I'm gonna go under the hood and we're gonna learn some stuff. So if you're ever worried about, you know, like, hey, I own a Jeep, but I'm not really I'm not a fabricator. I don't wrench on my Jeep. I don't do all this stuff, but I would like to get to know my Jeep a little bit and be able to have like some common knowledge about it. I'm going to talk about that. Like, that is something that I will go through in a couple of videos just to give you at least my understanding. I mean, there's a lot more information out there, but there's a lot you can know just by taking a look at your Jeep, just by getting under the hood and using your eyes and just kind of looking at everything. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. And you know, I want to start with the most basic stuff, which is the same stuff that I did for myself. You know, if it's information you can use, great. If you already know it, also great. But you know, I feel like collaborating and sharing information, man, that has helped me so much throughout my Jeep journey, you know, my off-road journey, camping journey, all the journeys, right? So let's get under the hood, and then I'm going to wheel you around and we'll take a look at some of the things that I found to be very important to me. All right, so here we are. We're looking under the hood, right? We've popped the hood, and then the very first thing that I'm going to do is go to this little black box right here. So this is the fuse box. Pinch in these little clips, pull the top, and it goes away, right? Now we see all the fuses, if I can get out of the way of the sun. And this is something that happens to every single Jeep, and I cannot stress this enough. When this comes in from the factory, none of these are pushed or fully seated. And I have a theory about that. My theory is as follows. I think that they went from having humans install these to having machines do it. And I think the machines were pressing down so hard on these that they were having problems with a bunch of them breaking. And so then they, you know, because when the machine comes down, it just kind of wham, and I think it was breaking a bunch of them. So I think they reset it to barely, you know, to bottom out, not quite at the bottom, so it doesn't break any of them. But all of these were sitting up just a little bit. Like, I can't even pull these out now because I fully seated them. But you will find that they're like a millimeter up, which doesn't sound like a big deal. Everything on my Jeep worked. It was perfectly fine. But a lot of Jeep owners and owners of other Chrysler products, or I don't know who it is now, Stellantis or whatever, but they find that they start to have a ghost in the machine over time. And, you know, whenever I have anything electrical, this is the very first thing I do is go here. And I don't care if I see anything that looks damaged. I mean, fuses are like dirt cheap. So I just replace the fuse, right? If I see anything, or this is always the first place I go to check to see if I need to replace one. So that's the very first thing I do whenever I have a new product. And I do it for any model, any make, whatever, but it's predominant with Jeeps. You know, even had a friend who had a Jeep Patriot, and he said, my computer's going crazy. I told him to do this, never had a problem since. So this is a very important thing, I feel like, and it was the very first thing I did. And if you want to get to know your Jeep and be able to kind of take care of it, it's a good place to start, you know. And on this, you've got a whole view of like what all the different things go to, which I think is super cool also, because it's right on the back of this lid. So I found that to be pretty handy too. It's a pretty good feature. All right, so next thing I do for myself is I just kind of take a look at the fluids, right? So we're looking at these levels here. I mean, that's perfect right there. It's supposed to be at that line. Sometimes, you know, when things heat up, it fills up a little more. If it starts getting low, then I start getting concerned. We've got all the brake fluid here. It's perfect. You know, I mean, this is kind of like not that important, but I take a look at it every once in a while just to see if I need a little washer fluid. You know, come over here, look at some of the other fluid levels, and just make sure. And most of them have a little line on there, and it'll tell you. You know, so I'm at my max level here. You know, and then I've checked the oil usually a couple times between oil changes and stuff. You know, just pull the dipstick out, you know, clean it off, set it back in, pull it out again, and just have a look at it. You know, if you do just those few simple things, then you're already kind of well ahead of the game, right? Say I do that once a week or once every other week or once a month, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with. You know, you start to get a working knowledge of your engine, your vehicle. You know, you start to get it on some dirt, you know, and you're taking it off road, and, you know, start easy, go slow, challenge yourself, but just a little bit, you know, like you don't want to take on the big stuff right away, but you can do a lot even with just like a stock Jeep. I mean, they are extremely capable right out of the box. I really am a believer in that. I've driven different styles of off-road vehicles, including multiple models of Jeeps and stuff like that. And so far of my Jeep drivership and ownership, this 2024 takes the cake. It really does. And, you know, I hope if you watch this video, and, you know, I'm going to post some other stuff too, that you get empowered to get out there and do it. I don't care if you get out for like 15 minutes. If you're like, it's too stressful for me to go for like an hour, just go for a little bit and then turn around and go home. And then, you know, your brain will start to, you know, assimilate this seat time, this wheel time, and you will get better and better and better. I promise you. And the great news about all that is you're going to have a great time doing all of that. It's so much fun to get outdoors, and you'd be surprised. There's so many nice, friendly, helpful people on the trail. Like, say you get to an obstacle and you're confused, or you don't know what to do, or you're really scared. You know, if you flag somebody down coming by on the trail, they will help you out. I mean, it is such a great community, and I hope you feel empowered to get out there and try some stuff. And feel free to ask any questions about anything you want. I'm here to help, really.